Welcome back to another episode of the Hide Your Moms podcast. We are on episode 20, and it feels really good. I'm very proud of myself. I never thought I would get to episode 20. There's like a statistic out there that most podcasts don't get to episode 20 and they quit before that. And I think it's really cool that I was able to get there. It took me a while, took me a year, but it feels good. It feels really good, and I'm very proud of myself. And so I think today's episode, we're going to get like a little bit more serious. I know I try to joke a lot, and I try to make this like a very, well, first, maybe some background. My number one goal in life, like you have dreams, my goal is to make people laugh and entertain. I don't know if that's like a deep-rooted issue where I felt like I had to do that when I was younger to like be okay or fit in or whatever. And I've never really talked about what I've gone through in my past, and I don't know if I will. I don't know if I'm ready to talk about that openly on the internet yet. It's a lot, and I don't think I'm ready to do that, but I am ready to talk about some of the issues I'm battling now, and I think that is just I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good to be open and maybe take a more serious route for episode 20. I don't know if anyone will really like that, but I'm kind of at the point right now this week who I am that I can't fake it today, really. And there's just been a lot of heavy stuff on my heart, and I think I want to talk about it, and I want to maybe talk about it because maybe some of you guys are dealing with the same type of issues, and you'll notice when I talk about like serious stuff, I'll like maybe look over or look to the right or left because I can't look right at the camera. It like makes me uncomfortable, I guess. I don't know. Or I'm just trying to gather my thoughts so I don't say the wrong thing. Anyway, so I guess I'm just going to start with, we'll start kind of with how I'm feeling, and then we'll get into, I put on my Snapchat to like have people slide up on it and let me know how they're feeling, and so we can talk about some other things that you guys are feeling. So if this isn't your type of episode and you don't want to like maybe get it a little sad or a little feely, then no worries. I totally get it. So I guess what I'm going to start with, what I'm feeling is kind of like a thing of how much work do you have to do to like get to where you want to be? I feel like I put in so much work and I put in so much effort into everything I do in my life, and I'm still not where I want to be. So how much more do I have to do to get there or to feel that? And I've started to realize it's not really about that. You'll never feel like where you want to be. Even if you do, say you have a goal and you reach it, then you just have to start all over. Then what? Then you have a whole nother identity crisis. So it's like a constant battle of trying to figure out what is enough, what's not enough. And I've been dealing with that a lot recently because okay, so let me give you an example for why I'm feeling this way. And I'm not trying to make people feel bad or anything. I'm just being open and how I'm kind of feeling and being real. I feel like, especially in the world, like the social media, internet world that I'm in. So I started this podcast a year ago, and the episodes did really well, and I tried really hard at that time, and it was good. It wasn't as hard as I'm trying now, if that makes sense, and the episodes now get less views than they used to. And you might just be like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. You can make excuses for it, but that just realistically, that messes with my brain. It messes with my brain like, wow, I'm putting in all this effort. I'm getting somebody to edit them, and I'm getting help even, and they're still not doing as good as they used to do when I didn't even have a studio or a room or whatever. And that's messing with me because it's like I've been putting all this work in and it's going backwards. So how does that work? And you could be thinking that with like maybe your college studies or whatever you're doing, your business, or how you're working out or whatever, or you just think that you're doing more than you've ever done, but you're not getting the results that you used to. I feel like that really can mess with you in a way and just put you down and think that you need to change it or completely remodel what's going on or something like that. And I don't know, it just gets in my head. And so I've came to a conclusion that I think what you really need to do and what you really need to reflect on is I'm so blessed to even be able to get to film a podcast. I'm so blessed to even have a room that has a podcast studio in it. I'm so blessed to even get to have somebody that watches it. And I think I get so ahead of myself and try to push the boundaries of where I want to be. And instead, I just need to relax and smell the roses. I watched this beautiful video the other day. I've told you this. This is going to get very emotional. You guys might see a side of me that is not out very much. But it's just got to the point where I've felt these feelings for probably 3 to 4 weeks, about a month and a half maybe. And I just can't, I can't not feel that. I can't not feel them anymore. I've suppressed them so much because you want to have this identity online and make people laugh, but I just cannot suppress them anymore. I have to talk about it. So yeah, it's been a struggle. It's been so much. And I feel like when you chase your dreams and you fully go all in on something, you're going to face these challenges and you're going to think, maybe I'm not doing the right thing. Maybe I'm not doing going down the right path. I think you are. And I think this happens on any path that you choose. You'd be feeling these exact feelings that you're not good enough, that you're not doing something right. No matter what path you're on, you're going to have these feelings. So I think trying to deviate from one path to get away from those feelings is not the way to go about things. I think that you need to stop and realize what you do have instead of what you want, and be so thankful and show gratitude towards what you've already accomplished. And I've accomplished a lot, and I think I was just so scared to tell myself that. I think I'm just so scared to tell myself that, you know what, you are doing good, and you're working very hard, and you're trying your best. And even if nobody else sees it, you know that you're doing that. So just keep trying your best. Because at the end of the day, all you can do is your best. You can't control the stuff that you can't control. And I think that is kind of where I'm trying to get to. I wrote down in my journal 3 things, and I can't remember 2 of them. So that means the one of them that I wrote down is really having an impact on me, and that is control what you can control. It's so simple, but it's also so easy to get caught up in why things aren't working for you and why things aren't going a certain way, or why aren't you where you want to be. But if you're controlling what you can control and you're controlling your attitude about those things, then I think it helps you keep going and continuing on chasing your dream, whatever that is. Every person is different. Every person has different dreams, but everyone has the same types of feelings when chasing those dreams. And I think that's why I want to talk about it today, because I've just been struggling so hard with it. I think that's real. I'm going to give you a few more examples of what I'm struggling with. So maybe when we go through your guys' struggles, that you guys won't feel as alone maybe. I'm struggling with even the simplest of things. And I haven't struggled with it in a long time. And I used to struggle with it when I was younger. And it's kind of relapsed. I think I've suppressed it kind of as long as I could have. It got to the point last week where I still showed up, and I still made my videos, and I put myself out there, and I really kept trying to do my thing. But it got to the point last week where I didn't even want to get out of bed. I didn't want to make my bed. Everything was a burden. The simplest of things. I didn't want to fill up my Brita. I didn't want to take my dog outside. I didn't want to open up my laptop. I didn't want to download podcast files. I didn't want to make a single TikTok video. I just didn't want to do anything. And it scared the shit out of me, which I think is okay. It's okay to feel that feeling, but I was like, what is going on? Why don't I want to do anything? As I took a step back and I narrowed it down to, I was looking so far in the future and I'm not where I want to be. So how long do I have to do these simple daily life things before I get to, how many times do I have to go through this daily routine of trying to do every single thing right? and I'm still not where I want to be. How long do I have to do it? How long do I have to do these boring things to be where I want to be? And I think that it's not about that. It's about finding joy in the boredom. It's finding happiness and bliss when you're the most bored on a random Tuesday. It's about enjoying where you are right now while still kind of chasing your dreams. And I think as you get more, you want more, which is a human tendency. And I think when I first started everything, I was like, I was just doing it, and I was just having a great time, and I was just having a blast, and all of the followers and all the views came with that. And then as soon as you get all of the stuff that you think you wanted, then you're trying to figure out what to do to keep it, what to do to make it farther. And I think that that's when you just need to relax, chill. There's a beautiful saying, stop and smell the roses. Just stop. Bask in what you've already done. Bask in where you are now. 2 years ago, I was unrecognizable. 3 years ago, I couldn't even probably have a conversation with myself. I would hate that person so much 3 years ago. And it took me a second. I had to totally step back and be like, this is what you've done and this is where you've got. In 3 years, that person is unrecognizable. What if you just continue going at a pace and at a gratitude pace daily that in the next 3 years you won't even be able to recognize yourself now? And I think I'm trying to control it almost. I think I'm trying to control when bad stuff happens or when things don't go your way. I'm trying to control when that happens by almost doing it to myself early. And I think that might be a trauma tactic that I picked up as a kid, is when I knew something was going to go bad. I knew I wasn't going to have control over something, and I was going to have to face a serious problem. And as I've gotten older, I'm like, you know what? I've taught myself, I'm going to get ahead of the problem and make the problem for me first, so I have control over when that problem happens. And at least I'm ready for that problem. So I'm always just looking forward and looking into the future of when that thing can go bad. And instead of waiting for that thing to go bad, that's going to happen inevitably. What is that word? I don't know. You can't control it when it's going to happen. But when that happens, you have to deal with it. But I don't want to do that. For some reason, I've tricked myself into thinking, how about you cause the bad thing for you? How about you treat yourself bad first? So when that thing happens, it won't happen because you've already done it to yourself. And I think that's just a terrible way to live. And I just don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's good for you. Gosh, I'm being so vulnerable. I think another reason I'm so scared about talking about this stuff is because this is going on social media, and I don't want it to just be like, pity party me. Feel bad for me. You should feel bad for me, so watch. That's not it at all. I feel like I've just pushed it down so far. I've felt like a lot of these feelings for a long time, and I've pushed them down because I don't want to do that, and I want to make people laugh instead, and it's just got to the point where that's just not going to happen today. Just this week, we were supposed to have a guest on the podcast, and there was a cancellation, and I was super excited for the guest. I thought it was going to be a very fun, entertaining episode, and it ended up being a cancellation 2 hours beforehand. And so now I've got to deal with that problem. And so now I've got to deal with all these different things to be able to keep going when I don't even want to make myself food. I don't even want to go to the gym or do anything. I want to sit and rot on my phone, which in turn is way worse for you. So I don't know. I've just been dealing with a lot of these issues, and I think another example I wanted to talk about Spency and the battles. I've struggled with that. You can't tell anybody what you're doing with your brand. I run a clothing brand, and you can't really tell anybody what you're doing with the brand because you don't want to spoil it because it's not ready yet. But it's also like I'm putting in so much work that I get to tell nobody about. So I just have to keep it in, and I just have to keep on working and keep on working and keep on working, and nobody's seeing anything pay off. I'm not seeing anything pay off. Like, we're getting closer. Like last year, we had 3 amazing drops, and we got to do them pretty simultaneously. And this year, we're 3 months into the year, and I don't even have a drop out. And it has just been killing me mentally. It's like, I'm doing all this work. I'm putting in all this work. I've been getting a warehouse. I've been getting people to help with it. I've been designing, and I've been staying up till 1, 2 a.m. working with manufacturers. And it's just, there's been nothing to show for it yet. I've run into so many blocks, and I'm not going to get into like what has slowed me down or what issues I've run into. That doesn't matter. It's just the fact is that it's happened. You just continue to get questions every day. When's the next drop? When's the next drop? When's the next drop? Which just means the most to me, because it's like you guys are waiting on it, but also weighs on me so hard, because it's like, I know I want it to come out too, but I can't get it there, you know? It goes back to the main topic is, it's stuff that I can't control. It's stuff that's happening that I can't control. What I can control is my attitude while designing and while working, while hiring, while manufacturing, while getting a warehouse, building a warehouse. That's what I can control. And I'm doing what I can do with that. But I can't control wait time, delay time, stuff like I can't control that. And I think that my brain has tricked myself into thinking that I can control it. And since it's not going the way I want it to go, then my brain almost bullies me. It's a bad mindset. It's just such a bad mindset. And I think it goes for a lot of things. If I make a video on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, why doesn't that I think is going to be really good, and it doesn't do what I think it should do, or it doesn't reach the amount of people that I think it should reach? It'd be like, man, what did I do wrong? What do I need to change to do differently? And you guys might think like, well, it's, who cares? Just make another video. But it's like, this is my life, you know, like this is everything. This is everything to me. It's my job. It's my passion. It's my dream. So when you start to feel your dream slip away sometimes, and I'm not saying I'm doing terrible. I mean, I'm doing great, but I'm speaking in terms of how I was feeling when I was like going through a lot of the stuff. And the only reason I'm talking about all this now is because it's been Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This is being filmed on a Wednesday. You'll see it next Tuesday. Well, I guess Tuesday for you when you're watching it. But I've had about 5 solid good days, and I feel like I've been able, I want to talk about it more. I'm checking myself. I haven't gone to therapy since I was a kid. And I was like, you know what? I don't need therapy. I'm going to do everything. I'll do everything that you need to do for your mental health that before you do therapy. Because I think that is true. I think you should work out, you should eat healthy, get on a good sleep schedule, do those type of things first before you do therapy. I think that's always a good rule of thumb. But sometimes it's so bad where you don't even want to do those things. And I understand, I get that. So it got to, I felt, get this is so stupid. I felt I was trying so hard to be the best that I could be and control what I can control: sleep pattern, work out, eat healthy, do everything right, be on a certain schedule. And I did that so often that I was like, that's not even enough now. That's not even enough for my mental health. Like, my mental health is still draining. It's almost like I wanted to be so perfect. I wanted to be so perfect and have a perfect day every single day and not waste a single day, because I'm trying to get to my dreams so hard that I ended up not even being able to do those things that I set out to be doing in the first place, because I wanted to do so many of them in such a short amount of time, and I just couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle changing my habits that fast. I've been reading a book. It's called Atomic Habits, and I think it's one of the best books probably I've ever read in my entire life. And it teaches you how to build a habit, how to keep a habit, how to make your habits easy so you want to keep doing them, how to make obtainable habits so you can keep accomplishing them. And it truly changes your life, and it's really helped me so much. I couldn't give a book more grace than I've given that book. It's beautiful. So yeah, if you're struggling with forming habits, and I mean, these habits could literally be as simple as, I don't have a problem with this, but you might have a problem with like, I'm in my bed and I'm so depressed or feeling so overwhelmed that I can't even get out of my bed to go brush my teeth. Like habits like that, a brushing your teeth habit, a vacuuming your floor habit, any type of habit, the smallest things. A habit is literally when you walk into a room and flip your light on. That's a habit. It gets deep into the root of all habits and why you have certain habits and how you can compound habits. And I think it's a beautiful book. I think you should read it. But yeah, I think that's probably enough about me. I've been feeling good the last 3 days. I'm going to therapy tomorrow. I'm very excited for that. I think it'll be a good little reset, maybe to talk about everything to somebody instead of somebody that just knows me. Those are probably maybe 3 or 4 of my issues. I don't know how many I just named, but those are 3 or 4 of my issues that I'm having. And most of the time when you have issues, you're having other ones, or you're having one main issue, which compounds to making your other things in your life have issues. And so that was about 3 or 4 of my issues. I'm not going to get into all the other little ones that are problems, but I want to get into some of these ones that you guys have sent me here. And it's almost beautiful because I posted this. I asked you guys to send in some of your problems an hour ago. You guys have sent in over 100 entries, and I'm sure a lot of them are going to be duplicates, which is fine, but I think it's just beautiful that you guys feel open enough to send me some of your guys' issues that you're struggling with. So maybe I can help you, or maybe I can at least hear you out. Maybe you at least feel seen, I guess is the goal. So this is the first one. I've been struggling with motivation to work out. I don't want to disappoint myself or my boyfriend. I also have been struggling with the thought of growing up and buying a house because I love to spend money. Well, let's start at the root of this. I've been struggling with motivation to work out. Yeah, me too. You work out and you just keep looking forward and you're like, man, I have to work out tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. But if you can just break it down to the point of, you know what, if I can get this workout done, I'm going to feel so much better. And you're good for that day. And I think it runs down to just take each day at a time. And if that's too much, take each thing or habit at a time. Going to the gym, just only think about that entire day. Don't think about anything else until you're done with the gym. And then go to the next thing. Don't think about anything else. And it's hard because ADHD is a big thing and a lot of people have it and I have it. And I think that will really help you get to the gym. Another thing that helps me is the time is going to pass. The time will pass anyway. That's something you cannot control. This week's going to go by. It's the same 24 hours. The sun is going to rise tomorrow. And that's just how it is. It'll never stop doing that. And I think it's up to you. It's like, okay, that time's going to pass anyways. I'm not going to be able to control that time going. Would I want to spend my time at that gym for 1 hour? I think another thing that helps is breaking it down. You don't need to go to the gym 7 days a week. Make an obtainable gym goal. I'm going to go to the gym 3 days a week for 40 minutes. Me personally, I go to the gym probably 4 times a week, maybe 4, maybe 5. And I go for no longer than 45 minutes. I'm not in there. I get in there. I do like a 5-minute stretch and then I'm in. Working out for 40 minutes and I'm out. And I take Toaster for walks and that kind of helps me. I don't want to be in there for a long time. I just want to get it done because I know I can attack my day better for the rest of it. So I think that is how you do it. And I don't want to disappoint myself or my boyfriend. Think about it. Nobody wants to disappoint anybody. You're not the only person that wants to not disappoint somebody. Nobody wants to disappoint their boss. Nobody wants to disappoint their parents. Their parents don't want to disappoint their kids. Teachers don't want to disappoint their students. Most students don't want to disappoint their teachers. It just goes back and forth. So I think thinking that you're not alone in that, like you're not alone that you don't want to disappoint your boyfriend because your boyfriend doesn't want to disappoint you. And if he does want to disappoint you, then sweetie, that's a whole other issue. Maybe you don't have the right boyfriend. But I think just thinking that you're not alone in that and everybody is trying to seek approval. That's human nature. Everybody wants to be enough, and nobody wants to let anybody else down. And I think recognizing that you're not alone in that is the biggest thing in there. And you'll learn that if you just keep doing your best and trying your best every single day and just trying to show up, a 1% day, you do 1% of effort is better than a 0% day. Just try to show up somewhat. If you have a lot of goals for that day, get one of them done. It's better than nothing. So I think that's a good one. I'm struggling with finding a job. Please give me words of encouragement. I know the job market's not very good, and a lot of people are doing whatever, not wanting to hire or blah, 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 blah. But I do know this. You will never find a job if you stop looking for the job. The day that you're like, I can't find a job, I'm done, will be the day that you never get a job for the rest of your life. And I think once you realize that if you just keep showing up, keep trying to find a job, you will find that job. And another thing with that is, whether you believe there's a higher power or not, I don't care. I won't get deep into that, but there's probably somebody is protecting your peace with not being able to give you the jobs that you think that you want. There's somebody that knows more than you. And I'd say, let's get into another one. I'd say feeling like I'm in a rut at my job at 25 years old and not even 2 years at the company yet. I work from home. Maybe that's why. Yeah. I mean, I work from home too, so I completely understand where you're at. I just read this book that there was I don't remember exactly maybe it's up on the screen, maybe it's not, but there was this saying that what's the difference between amateurs and pros? And I feel like this is advice for anything that feels like repetitive and feels like you're stuck. What's the difference between amateurs and pros? And I think it was a guy that like trained Olympians, and he had said this: pros show up even when they're bored, and amateurs give up or change what they're doing when they get bored. The moral of that is to understand the small gains that you're making every single day, and to just relax and be thankful for what you have today. And eventually you will spring. Think about it like this. Let me try to think about it. Let me try to do this for you. This is an analogy for you. I don't know if it directly correlates to what you're saying, but if you truly get 1% better every day and you compound that 1%, it will continue to go up. So here's an example for you. In America, we use Fahrenheit. Ice freezes at 32 degrees or under 31 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. Say you have water and all you want to, no, we'll say opposite. Say you are an ice cube and all you want to be is not an ice cube anymore. It's so hard to break that case because it's like, how do I eventually get to water? But if every single day that ice cube is at 5 degrees, every single day it gets better. The next day it goes to 6 degrees. The next day it goes to 7 degrees. The next day it's at 8 degrees. A few weeks later, you're at 28 degrees. And it feels so repetitive because every single day you're only going up a single degree and you're not getting to the water that you want to be. You don't want to be an ice cube anymore, but you're only getting 1% better every day. You're done. You're so bored of it. You're tired of it. But then you get to 31 degrees and you're still bored. We all know what happens at 32 degrees. You're at 31 degrees. You've been doing the same thing for 3 weeks. You feel like it's enough, but nobody's telling you that it's enough, and your results aren't enough. And then that next day of that same routine that you thought wasn't working, you get 1% better and you hit 32 degrees and you start melting. And then you get better again. And then you get to 35 degrees and now you're melting pretty fast. 40 degrees, 50 degrees, you're melting. 70, 80 degrees, You're never going back to an ice cube again. And I think that analogy is to show that if you could just do, you never know when it's going to burst. You never know when it's going to happen. You could just get 1% better every single day. Then you'll be fine. You'll truly be fine. I love that analogy. And I think that it is it's a beautiful one that helps a lot of people. Yeah. Oh, this is a good one. This is a really good one. This person said, I've been in a spiritual funk, not being able to stay motivated and dealing with random spurts of anxiety and the feeling of being overwhelmed. It is very exhausting and people look at me for things that I'm not doing well sometimes. There's no reason for my sense of being mentally declined. It just sort of happens. Okay, Elle, we are in the, oh shit, cut out that name. Don't put that in there. Okay, we are in the exact same boat. That's exactly right. You have your relationship, you have your parents, you have your college classes, you have your boss. Nobody knows what you're really going through because you don't even know why you're going through it. So they still expect the same that you've been giving them when you were mentally like doing better. They still expect the same thing. And you don't really want to explain it to them, or you don't really know how to explain it to them, that you just can't give that right now. So you get that sense of overwhelmness. And I feel that so hard. I feel that so incredibly hard. And it's very hard to communicate it. And I think that maybe just asking for like a little bit of grace, not even having to explain your whole situation, but the people that make you feel overwhelmed, just be like, hey, I'm going to be real with you. I'm feeling pretty overwhelmed right now in my life, and I just kind of need to step back for a second. And I would really appreciate it if you just gave me some space. And that could be with anything. You could tell that to your parent. You could tell that to your friend, your spouse, your boss, anything. And if they don't respect that, then that's on them. That gets back to the part where you can't control what you can't control. You controlled your communication to them, and if they don't respect that, you can't control it. You can't control that, right? So I think that is number one. That's the number one step. I think spiritually, damn, sorry. No, hopefully cut that out. I think spiritually is a really tough thing for me as well. What I've found that's helped me the most recently, because I go back and forth with my faith all the time, and I'm always struggling. What helps me the most is whatever you believe in, don't expect somebody else to be representing, even if they say they do. Don't expect somebody else to be representing what you think you believe in and what you think it means to believe in that. Believe in truly what you want to believe in. Okay, for example, I don't care about talking about this. For example, for me, and you might not feel this way, which is fine, but for me, I believe in Jesus. Jesus is my Lord and Savior, and I believe that. I struggle with seeing people that say they believe in Jesus or Christians or whatever, and they don't represent what I think Jesus stands for. So I struggle. I'm like, oh, maybe I don't want to believe in Jesus because that's not what I relate to. That's not who I believe in. That is not whatever. And so I think that if you think about it and dissect it, I'm just explaining my situation. That's not Jesus. Those people aren't Jesus. I'm not Jesus. I'm going to mess up. I'm going to be brutally mean to people. I'm going to sin. I'm going to do terrible things. I'm going to not deserve anything good. But Jesus isn't like that. Other people are, and you are, but Jesus isn't. So I tried to not let anybody's things really push me away, and I tried to truly believe in what I think Jesus is and who I think Jesus is. That's who I believe. And I've probably been to 20 churches in my life, and probably 18 to 19 of them have made me feel like I don't want to believe in Jesus, if this is what it is. And I think that's scary to say, but that's just how it has been for me in my life. And so I tend to stay away from church and truly just try to attack my beliefs in the way I want to attack them. And that seems to give me the most help. So that's how I would do it. If you don't believe in Jesus, that's fine. But I think you could use those tactics for all sorts of spiritual belief. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. My mom that I haven't talked to in 4 years has been diagnosed with cancer, and I got a MRI yesterday, and it's in her. Wait, hold on. Let me reread this. My mom that I haven't talked to in 4 years has been diagnosed with cancer and got an MRI yesterday. Damn. And it's in her entire body. Also, my dad passed away suddenly when I was 20, and he had sole custody since I was 4. I don't really know how to give you advice, but I can tell you this. I'm freaking proud of you, dude. I'm so proud of you. You're still here. You're still going. And I think that takes a lot. To lose the parent that cared for you forever, and then the parent that you still somehow have a tie to, haven't talked to in a long time because you might not have the best relationship, and then you find out that they are diagnosed with cancer. And I think, and it almost means there's something like I haven't gone through that, right? I haven't done that, and I still find a way to complain about my problems and complain about everything that I've been through. And somebody always has it worse. And I think that's where you kind of have to get, and I'm not saying this is your advice. What you're dealing with is so tough. This is not advice for you. This is almost advice for me. It's making me realize something, that somebody always has it worse. And it kind of goes back to that. Just be thankful for what you do have. For what you do truly have. Be thankful for that, and not what you don't have. And I think that that's truly just the best thing you can do in most situations. I'm proud of you. That's hard. Fuck, that's hard. Man. Wow. Okay. I've been struggling with so much to the point that I don't want to get up out of bed. I'm planning a wedding, working full-time in a pharmacy, going to school for nursing, and selling my first home all in one big lump. And I'm so stressed, and I have so much to get done, but I can't find the motivation and effort to want to do so. Yeah. I truly think that it is so hard, because life, you get in a routine of life and it just goes. And then all of a sudden you don't even plan for it, but all of a sudden so many things clump into one. And it's like, how do I even attack this? There's just so much on my plate. It's kind of like, I don't know if this is the best analogy, but it's like you're just walking through life. And it's a sunny day and everything's fine, and you're on your normal walk that you always do. And then another day you wake up and now it's raining. And then another day you wake up and you think you're doing the right thing, so you get an umbrella. And then all of a sudden you have to carry 20 umbrellas while you're walking on that same walk that used to be sunny. And now you have 20 umbrellas. You don't even know what to do with them. You don't even know how to keep walking. You don't even know how to continue moving forward. And it's still freaking raining. So you need an umbrella, but you don't even know what to do with the rest of them. And it's really hard to just struggle, or it's really hard to just find a way to get back to that sunny walk again. And I think if you could just start by slowly getting rid of one umbrella at a time, I think that truly helps. I think simplificating the problems and getting into one big thing is awesome. I don't even know what I'm saying, to be honest with you. I think simplifying your problems into one at a time is the best thing you can do. That's what I was trying to say. Sorry. Anxiety about the future and how to open up again after an 8-year relationship ended, like how to be confident and such. Nancy, I think you need to flip your perspective here. What a blessing. what a blessing it is to, oh, don't say that name. Sorry. Cut that out. I think that you need to flip your perspective and think, wow, what a blessing. What a truly blessing that I got to have a pretty good 8 years. And maybe it wasn't a good 8 years, but you're done with it. And you get a fresh start. You get a fresh start at being able to establish, if you don't know yourself, if you've been with someone for 8 years, you don't know truly who you are. So you get a fresh start at learning who you want to be and what you want to do and how you want to spend your days. And I feel like if you flip that to be your perspective instead of trying to like kind of soak in what's already happened and what's something that you can't control, that is what it is. Now come over here and let's get after it. You know what I mean? Let's attack this. What a beautiful gift. I think that's the way you attack that one. Anxiety at school, bullying, etc. This is what I'm going to say to you real quick. And I think this is why bullying is so prevalent. Some humans do not get along. Some humans go through stuff, and especially at the young age, everyone is going through stuff. I know I've been bullied. I know I've bullied people. You are in a town where you see the same people every day. I'm guessing you're in high school or college. In a town where you see the same people every day, and then that's it. And you just got to deal with it. And everyone's also dealing with their own issues outside of school. You don't see them at home when they're battling their issues. You only see them at school when they're being mean to you or you guys aren't getting along. And I think that just try to look at it as a human being. There's 8 billion people in the world, and you are stuck in school or college or in some type of simple thing with a confined space with a certain amount of them. So I don't think it's you. I think you truly, as you get older, the beauty of it is you find out who you truly are, and you're also going to find out that there's more humans like that, and there's more humans like you, and you'll constantly get bullied. I still get cyberbullied on the internet every single day. But I do know that there's a lot of people, and I reach a lot of people on the internet, so I get a lot more good comments than bad. And I think you just stay true to yourself, stay strong. And if you're getting, it's weird that I'm saying this, but you have to flip your perspective again. If you're getting bullied, you almost try to flip your perspective. Instead of getting mad at the bully, try to find a way to relate or be nice to that bully. And it might not work the first time. It might work the second time or the third time. But the fourth time, it'll hit. And I'll give you an example of this. In middle school, I was going through some of the toughest times of my life. Well, elementary school and middle school. Middle school, I was going through some of the toughest times of my life. I was just a insecure, and I'll say this, 8th grade. I'll never forget this. I was an insecure person that acted like he was not. And I'll say this, it was so bad for me in my 8th grade year that I didn't know if I was going to make it. Okay, so I'll just say that. And there was this girl, and I bullied her often, and not on purpose, but like I don't think kids realize it, but I was bullying her. When I look back at it, I realized how much I maybe made fun of her or called her names or whatever. Never like I put her in a lock or whatever, but it was this girl. And I think the reason I bullied her is she was one of my friends' sister. So it was one of my friends' sisters, and he bullied her. And then so I kind of like joined in on it and would also make fun of her. And one day, one of my friends had passed away that I was pretty good friends with in middle school. And he had passed away. And I was just struggling. I was having a terrible day. I did not want to be there. I don't remember if it was 1 or 2 days. I don't really remember. But she gave me a note that said, she walked by me in the hallways and gave me a note that said, I see that you're struggling and I know how close you guys were. I'm so sorry. Talk to me if you need anything. And then at the bottom, she wrote, P.S. Please don't tell anyone I gave you this. I don't want to be made fun of. And I've never told anyone that story. I've never told anyone that story before. It's the first time I've even said it out loud, I think. And it just made me think, man, after all the names I called her, I don't even remember what I did, but I know I was rude to her. And I know that she didn't have a good, probably family life and stuff like that, but she still wrote that down for me and passed it to me. And I never told anybody. And I never made fun of her again. Yeah, that was... So just try to be nice, I think. I'll say this, the person being mean needs somebody to be nice to them more. And I remember after that time, I prided obviously I was still a kid. I probably still made fun of people and I probably wasn't a good person, but I really did try my hardest not to do that to somebody else ever again. And yeah, okay. Let's do one more. I've been struggling so much recently with feeling behind in life. I just turned 20 and I'm a full-time college student getting my master's degree, but I still live with my parents and I don't have a job. Meanwhile, others my age already have their own houses and are getting married, some even having kids. I've been told that it's because we've all chosen different paths in life and I will get there, but I just feel so behind because I'm not in the same place as them. Do you have any advice or getting over those thoughts or a way to still stay motivated when you feel like you could have done things different and been in completely different places in your life? I think when you think that you think that you don't have things figured out and you think that you did something wrong. And I think that's not true at all. I think every single human being on earth, no matter what stage of your life that you're in, and everybody goes through different stages at different times. Who cares? There's no rule book. There is zero rule book on what ages to do things. There is nothing. There's the Constitution where you got to follow the laws. In the Constitution, it doesn't say you need to have kids by at that time. You need to have a wife or a house by that time. There's nothing against that. I think living in your parents' house is one of the smartest decisions of your life. My friend is 22 years old and he's lived with his parents since high school. My best friend in the entire world. And he sees me doing all this stuff and all this whatever, and he's not jealous of it. He continues to grind. He continues to do his own thing. Because I talk to him firsthand and I say, I'm having a lot of these issues. And he's like, I'm not. I'm saving money. I'm doing a great job. He has the best perspective on it in the entire world. And I think it's awesome. I think I applaud people that stay at their parents' house. I think it is beautiful. I think you save money. I think it's so hard at this time to do that. I also think you're going to live a lot of your life without your parents. And that's just a cold, hard fact. If anybody wants to judge you for living there for a few extra years, fuck them. Fuck them. If you love your parents, fuck them. You do you. And that's how that is. And you will always constantly be trying to figure things out. I'm trying to figure things out. I'll feel like I'm trapped. That's always that. Try to live in the moment. Try to be happy with where you're at. Flip your perspective that you have parents that'll let you stay with them and be there with them. And I think that is what's truly beautiful about that in your situation. Find the beauty in your own situation. Stop and smell the roses. Control what you can control. and we'll be all right. We'll get there. We'll be fine. Even when we don't think we'll be fine. I think this podcast truly meant a lot to me. I hope if I helped one person in this entire podcast, then fuck it, I did it. I did it. Because trying to do the other thing wasn't working. So yeah, I needed to do this. I needed to do this podcast. I am so unbelievably grateful that you guys are able to trust me with the problems that you guys had. And maybe we'll get into some more of these next week. I truly, from the bottom of my heart, love every single one of you guys that watches this podcast. We'll be fine. We'll be all right. You will be all right. I'll see you next week.